Trying to.
You gotta remove that item 3 again.
3.
Still.
Okay. All right, I'd like to call the regular session of the Isabella County Board of Commissioners to order. Stand for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Embry,
Here.
Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hope. All present, Mr. Chairman.
Clerk, next up is approval of the agenda. We'll start out with general public comments. We don't have any presentations or special reports. We have a few appointments to boards and commissions. And then the consent agenda, which we will place on file, and then committee reports, Finance and Administration Committee.
Finance and Administration Committee is all set, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
The Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee is all set, Mr. Chairman.
Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Human Resources and Public Works Committee is all set, Mr. Chair.
Have no intergovernmental affairs, no administrator, controller issues, no unfinished business. Under new business, we have just the 2023 annual drug report, and then we'll have general public comment, announcements, and adjournments. With that, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to request that we remove item number 3 under the Finance and Administration Committee from the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Support. And moved and supported to remove item number 3 under Finance and Administration.
This relates to the personnel manual for non-represented employees and deals specifically with earned PTO hours. We need to do a little additional study and look at the impacts on employees and impacts on the budget before we proceed with any action.
Very good. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended? So moved.
Support.
Supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Agenda. And that moves us down to general public comments. Is there anyone for general public comment?
What a night. What a day, right?
Indeed.
It's gonna be a little off script again because I sat into the tail end of what you guys were going through this evening. So in the spirit of transparency, based on what I heard tonight, I would ask that you not look to just the money that you might get for subsidies for the wind and solar that's coming into this community. At the Board of Commission meeting today in Gratiot County, they spoke of property taxes as being the most significant resource on a budget. It would be prudent and wise to remember that because your decisions today affect property values tomorrow. With the wind and solar leases coming in, property values will plummet. I have talked to you folks about the devastating effects of solar panels on farmland, such as shrinking private land, economic hardships for businesses related to the agricultural industry, higher prices for food, and much, much more. So you have a whole new audience today. So some of these people have never heard this before. Zoning ordinances are something that I've had to learn a lot about since the beginning of the year. They are written in the spirit of protecting and serving the local residents. And I just would like you to please remember that the energy companies and their representatives are not local residents and do not care about the spirit of these ordinances. They are for a for-profit business. I would encourage you to take this information to the townships that you represent so they have the most up-to-date information and are not blindsided by negative consequences. Regarding the zoning ordinances, they are supposed to exist to protect the rights of all community members' enjoyment of their properties. One person's property rights end where another neighbor's property begins. Everyone should have the right to enjoy their property in a safe, peaceful manner while maintaining property values. I fully understand the law that Governor Whitmer signed taking away local zoning rights. However, there's a ballot initiative going around now, and I believe this law will be repealed when the people have a voice and a vote to keep local control. So until then, there's no reason to not have better ordinances in place. I will be speaking to the Planning Commission again to encourage strict ordinances for the protections of both the landowners and the non-participating residents. For last, I asked whose responsibility is it to make sure the solar company is following the rules? I had an answer to this statement that suggested that it is up to the citizens to make complaints and that there are things that can be done. And that then there are things that can be done. Very citizens who are overlooked and have no say in how they can enjoy their home. The homeowners who are blindsided and whose peaceful lives in the country are disrupted are then supposed to be the watchdogs. I've talked about my journey and how I've ended up here. Let me finish by saying, though, it looks like a dead end where my childhood home is. That does not have to be the end of the story for this community. If enough citizens in the community come together, neighborhoods and homes can be protected with the best ordinances available to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for general public comment?
Hi, Steve Pickens, County Treasurer. I want to thank Mr. Tobin today for speaking up concerning the budget process. And you know, I'm one of the big blueberries about the last 5 or 6 years. I'm telling you where I thought we were going, to which we've been down that road a little bit here. And I kind of told you when I thought you were wrong. Not just you, but everybody else as well, the other commissioners. And I want to tell you, I think you're wrong again. I don't think it's all your fault. Okay. A lot of the people don't understand a lot of the things that go on to make the budgets and stuff and how we got to this situation. Information that you guys had received prior was not always a truthful information. From where you were getting it. There was estimates made that were, the numbers are not totally correct. And so you made your decisions from that. And now we're in this situation that can be fixed, okay? It's gonna take all of us and it's gonna take the community, like they said. But I want to thank you, but again, I want to say you're wrong again, because I don't think it's all your fault, okay?
Thank you. Anyone else for general public comment?
My name's Christopher Jackson, and what I'm here today for was I apparently wanted to see the last meeting, but I didn't because I had the wrong time apparently. But what I want to point out is a lot of the reason why we're here where we are is because of the fear mongering. A lot of what has been fed to me through public sources and like friends and family are not showing what you guys need to have done. What we've gotten is you're going to do this or you're going to pay, which is why I think the ballot didn't pass. So what I'm asking for is more information publicly on what you guys need, what you guys are thinking of, and not we're going to hurt you. That's why I came here today, is I want more information. It's not out there. except for maybe in this meeting. But this meeting only goes so far in the community. There's not like written documentation of what's going on, what the community can do, and where our money is going. So I would need more information for the public in documents that we can easily access, whether it's on pretty much anything from the county. Just give us more information on what we're dealing with.
Thank you.
My name is David McGuire. I was going to speak, but I kind of want to echo what Treasurer Pickens said. Thank you very much for your comments. I will tell you, I talk to a lot of people in the course of a day, and this obviously is the topic of conversation everywhere. And I will tell you this, that took a lot to do what you did, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it a lot. I think if 6 other people did what you just did, you might really have a chance of passing the millage. But there are a lot of people that want you folks to tell them that you made a mistake and you can do better. What we've been hearing for the last several weeks is we haven't done anything wrong. Everything's been fine. We had all good information. Everything was great. We just had this perfect storm. It wasn't a perfect storm. You've been robbing Peter to pay Paul for years. There's been all kinds of screwy things. You need to admit that you didn't see it right and you called it wrong, and you might get all these folks on your side and you could probably pass them. Have a good day.
Yep. Anyone else for public comment? Okay, seeing no one else, we don't have anyone online, do we?
We do not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Seeing no one else for public comment, we'll move along to appointments to boards and commissions. Would someone like to make that motion? Under item A.
I'd like to move to appoint Jacqueline Curtis to serve on the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging's Advisory Council for a 3-year term ending March 31st, 2027, or until the successor is appointed.
Been moved and supported to appoint Jacqueline Curtis to serve on the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging's Advisory Council. Any discussion? I'll just say that Jacqueline Curtis has been involved in the community for many years. We appreciate her service. Hearing no other discussion on that. We just need a voice vote on that, correct? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Nay. Very good. Item B, would someone like to make that motion?
I'll move to concur with the chairman's appointment of member to the City of Mount Pleasant Downtown Development Authority Board.
Support.
And moved and supported to concur with chairman's appointment member to the City of Mount Pleasant Downtown Development Authority Board. And the chairman's appointment was Commissioner Swaney. Commissioner Swaney agreed to take on that responsibility. We appreciate that. Commissioner Jelazinski previously was on that board. He has a conflict with the jail meetings, which Commissioner Jelazinski and Commissioner Embry have been very involved with that project. So we appreciate that. Any other discussion on item B? Hearing.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure to serve.
Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Item C, would someone like to make that motion?
Move to concur with chairman appointment for alternate member of the City of Mount Pleasant Downtown Development.
Support.
Been moved and supported to concur with chairman's appointment of alternate member to the City of Mount Pleasant Downtown Development Authority Board. And that chairman's appointment was Commissioner Marino, who graciously accepts that responsibility. And we appreciate that. Any other discussion on item C? Yes, sir.
I think you made a very good appointment of primary and secondary representative downtown development board. I know they're looking at redevelopment plans for Mission, and I think it's very appropriate to have commissioners from city districts represented on that board.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Very good. And that brings us down to the consent agenda. Commissioner Embry, would you present that for us, please?
Certainly. Motion reads, move to approve and place on file the March 19th, 2024 work session meeting minutes. The March 19th, 2024 regular minutes. The March 26th, 2024 Finance and Administration Committee meeting minutes. The March 26th, 2024 Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee minutes. And the March 2024 Human Resources and Public Works Committee meeting minutes.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve and place on file the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Brings us down to committee reports, Finance and Administration Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our first item is the March 15, 2024 invoice list, the March 22nd, 2024 invoice list, and the March 28th, 2024 adjustment list. Move to ratify and place on file the March 15, 2024 invoice list in the amount of $1,415,385.35. The March 22nd, 2024 invoice list in the amount of $484,857.01. And the adjustment list dated March 28th, 2024.
Support.
Been moved and supported to ratify and place on file the March 15th, 2024 invoice list, the March 22nd, 2024 invoice list, and the March 28th, 2024 adjustment list. Discussion.
So tonight we come to approving a list of payments to vendors. The lists themselves have gone through five different reviews because it gets reviewed at the department level. It's reviewed by administration, comes to committee for review, and then it comes to the work session earlier this evening, and finally to a final approval. And so we've all had multiple times to look at this and raise questions. There were not any questions either on the March 15th or the March 22nd list. Most of these are the larger bills that exceed $5,000 are listed on the front page with multiple pages of smaller bills in the background. So we've had a chance to review this. There weren't any questions. And again, those bigger bills are ones that we routinely see time and time again because they're contractual in nature, or they're disbursements for the treasurer for tax disbursements and so on.
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
On those, I will then move to the adjustment list.
Oh, sorry.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman.
Oh.
So the adjustment list changes the dollar amounts or adds to the dollar amounts on the invoice list. And that usually occurs because we have an opportunity to add a payment to get an early payment discount. The sheriff's office, the Commission on Aging, buy food from vendors, and if we pay those early, they get a discount on it. Also, we have utilities, whether it's Consumers Energy, the City of Mount Pleasant water bill, but because their timing for payment is different than the county's payment schedule, we pay those early to not have a late charge for those payments. And occasionally there's a minor adjustment due to somebody making an entry error when it's being put into the computer, or because sales tax is included and that has to be subtracted because we don't pay sales tax. So nothing significant. There was nothing significant in those dollar amounts. except for there was a added one, the city of Mount Pleasant tax settlement payment of 567,000. So, and also the city of Clare treasurer, another tax settlement payment. Those tend to be large because we take in those dollars and we have to disperse them to the governmental entities that need them. So there were a couple of significant ones in there, but again, ones we recognize time and time again.
Any further discussion? Very good. Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Swaney?
Yeah.
Commissioner Hutchinson? Commissioner Embry? Commissioner Jazinski?
Yeah.
Commissioner Engler? Commissioner Marino? Commissioner Hope? 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Second item for the Finance and Administration Committee is the prime contract change order number 16. Motion reads, move to approve the prime contract change order number 16 with Clark Construction in the net additional amount of $36,563 and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve prime contract change order number 16. Discussion.
So we had our senior project manager here earlier, Heidi Heinz Kindle, and she ran through the changes that have occurred since our last prime change order. They include a change of a 10-foot opening that they changed from concrete wall to a metal stud wall with drywall and a box header. We talked about a safety rail on the roof for some of our return air units for an additional $20,932. She also talked about a change to the metal bench that was going to be now concrete. We also talked about the cost of to create a differentiation in the color of the pods for better identification for the sheriff's department and the sheriff's office out there for a total of $36,563.
Very good. Any further discussion on that? Hearing no more discussion, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Embry?
Yes.
Jazinski? Commissioner Engler? Commissioner Marino? Commissioner Swaney? Commissioner Hutchinson? Commissioner Hope? 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, that completes the work of the Finance and Administration Committee.
Thank you, commissioners. Brings us to Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 4 items for you today. First up is the fiscal year 2025 Isabella Community Correction Plan. The motion reads, move to approve the FY 2025 Isabella Community Correction Plan application in the amount of $127,634.34 and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
And supported to approve the fiscal year 2025 Isabella Community Corrections Plan. Discussion.
Yeah, this is a grant that we apply for every year. It's state sets priority on lowering prison rates. It's totally 100% reimbursable. And if we did not do this, we are still responsible for some of the corrections in that grant. So kind of a win-win for us.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
Yeah, and this does not endanger the community. It's a very aggressive program done by the courts to make sure we can lower those prison rates. But maybe there'll be ankle communication devices, and they have to basically go through different types of meetings. And if the people are good, you can stay out of prison and get back into society much quicker.
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Jazinski? Commissioner Engler? Commissioner Marino? Commissioner Swaney? Commissioner Hutchinson? Commissioner Embry? Commissioner Hope? 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, next up is Rapid SOS Order Form RS SOS 85104615556. The motion reads, move to approve the rapid SOS order form RS 0S-85104615556 in the annual amount of $9,121.14 for 3 years and authorize board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the rapid SOS order form RSOS dash 85104615556. Discussion.
This is a software update to update the devices already out there. It improves them. Improves the location of them. I know there's another grant application to get another 50 of them to get up to 100 of them in the county, so not cost the county nothing. It's already been approved through 2%.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Embry, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
All right, memorandum of understanding and data transfer and usage agreement. Motion reads, move to approve memorandum of understanding and data transfer and use agreement with the Board of Trustees of the Leland Stanford Junior University and authorize board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the memorandum of understanding and data transfer and use agreement. Discussion.
All right, so this is just a memorandum of understanding for this university to be able to go back. They have software that will look at old documents that are written in hand, sometimes cursive, and it will look for discriminatory language and identify it. With this agreement, we will be able to get that data and that information if we ever have to go back to scrub old documents. The only cost to this understanding was our legal to look and make sure that all our I's were dotted and no personal information would be available publicly. That shouldn't be. And that is paid for by the ROD Automation Fund out of the Register of Deeds.
Very good. Any further discussion on that item? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Swaney,
Yes.
Commissioner Embry, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
All right, our last item, a memorandum of understanding for direct submission of e-recordings with GovOS. Motion reads, move to approve memorandum of understanding for direct submission of e-recordings with GovOS and authorize a board chairperson to sign the same.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the memorandum of understanding of direct submission of e-recordings with GovOS. Discussion.
So this is a similar document that will be signed by us and the software provider GovOS. This software will basically streamline efficiencies for the Register of Deeds and Treasury Department and also any constituents that need those services. So it will save us time and money. And again, the only cost was the lawyer looking at it, again, paid by the ROD funds.
Very good. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marino,
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Embree, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, that completes the work of the Criminal Justice and County Affairs Committee.
Thank you, commissioners. That would bring us to Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have two items in the Human Resources and Public Works Committee this evening. The first one is Johnson Hill Land Ethics Studio, and the motion reads move to approve the contract with Johnson Hill Land Ethics Studio to serve as a prime professional for the Herrick Recreational Area Development Project ARP-0174 and authorize the board chairperson to sign the same.
Been moved and supported to approve the Johnson Hill Land Ethics Studio. Discussion.
Yeah, Alexis Hanson, the Parks and Recs Director, explained this to us in our committee and also in the work session. And fortunately, the Parks and Rec Department was awarded a Sparks grant for improvements to the campground facilities at here recreation area. And this is a permitting and oversight issue. Fortunately, well, not fortunately, but according to the grant stipulations, we have to have a prime professional to manage the grant funded project alongside the municipal park staff. And so they were the best lowest bidder, and they will be doing upgrades to the playgrounds, including an accessible pathway between the playground and the bathhouse, and updates to the pit toilet structure. And because the cost of that is $27,950, and fortunately that will be covered by the Spark grant funding, so there will be no cost to the county. Any questions or comments on that?
One, that grant was for $319,000.
Right.
So the DNR sets parameters that you can spend up to, I think it's 15% of the project total for professional services. And so this firm will be doing planning, documents, specifications. We'll be coordinating payments with the DNR. So DNR feels very comfortable with having an outside firm coordinating that for the grantees. So they know the project is being done according to the purposes of the grant. So they'll have to sign off on a whole slew of documents before they get put online electronically.
Good point. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hutchinson.
Yes.
Commissioner Embree. Commissioner Jazinski.
Yes.
Commissioner Engler.
Yes.
Commissioner Marino.
Yes.
Commissioner Swaney.
Yes.
Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
Our second item and last item, train IPAC rooftop unit for the courthouse. Motion reads, move to approve the purchase of a new train IPAC rooftop unit for the courthouse in approximately cost of $191,141.30 and authorize the board chair to sign.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the purchase of a new train IPAC rooftop unit for the courthouse. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make an amendment to that motion. I believe we understood it during the work session with Director Schumacher that it should read, consider approving the purchase of a new train IPAC or equivalent rooftop unit for the courthouse at an approximate cost of $191,141.30 and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Very good. So as usual, help me out with the process here.
Support.
What do you guys want to do it?
Uh,
Say, friendly amendment, I agree to it, so.
Okay. All right. It's been moved and supported to approve the train IPAC rooftop unit for the courthouse or what was the verb? Or equivalent, thank you. Discussion.
Yeah, this has been an issue and been a headache for Facility Director Shoemaker. As reported back in the end of 2022, we had 4 compressors in that IVAC system come in, put them in, and we really couldn't test it because of the temperature. So then once the temperature came up in the spring of last year, entered into that spring, fired them up. They worked a week. Went through 10 compressors. We started getting on the company that produced these, and he's been going around and around. We've got temperatures last summer and fall reaching 85 degrees. So he's went as far as getting with MMRMA and see what they suggest to follow up on this and try to get them, the company to help us. And they're gonna send out a specialist. We want to go ahead and order the parts to have them in place, it's ready to go here. With that specialist.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Embree, Commissioner Jazinski, Commissioner Engler, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Swaney, Commissioner Hutchinson, Commissioner Hope. 7 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passed, Mr. Chairman.
That completes the work of the Human Resources and Public Works Committee.
Commissioners, we have no intergovernmental affairs, no administrator controller issues, no unfinished business. Under new business, we have the 2023 annual drug report. Would someone like to make that motion?
Sure, I'll make that, Mr. Chairman. Motion reads, move to accept and place on file the 2023 annual drug report from the county medical examiner. Support.
Been moved and supported to accept the 2023 annual drug report. Discussion.
Report that we get every year and just needs to be filed. So unfortunately, the numbers seem to be good.
Very good. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd
Yes,
just
sir.
like to say that it was useful to have the other counties in there too for comparison. They do that in the committee that I go to, mid-state too, and it's a little different sometime, and it was not just deaths, but it's very interesting to see the variations in the different geographic areas.
Any other discussion? Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Very good. Brings us down to general public comments. Anyone for general public comment? One-on-one?
Not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I guess the first thing I want to say is I haven't received my notice in the mail to go get tested for asbestos exposure. I'm just wondering when of them are going to be sent out to the entire county. Anybody have any answers on that yet? Because we've all been exposed to that building at some time within the last 30, 40 years. Not only yourself, the police agencies, the general public. So where are we at with that? Why are we? Maybe some people's already died from this exposure. Past employees. I look at this room here. Very few people are in here. Apparently, the sheriff's department people don't care about us. Because none of his people are here. They want our support for their August millage. But they're not here to support us. I don't look at that as a very good public service at all. All of them left. The majority of them did. We got a crisis out there in Ottawa Township. And to this day, I still have not the right answers. We have not been mandated for the sewer system. There's two individuals here, I won't mention who they are. It's on deaf ears. I'm pretty sick of it. I pay my taxes every year. I've been a resident my entire life. Here's my documentation, people. Right there. Your county plumbing, zoning, building, neglected their duty to follow the state guidelines out there is why we have half the problem we have out there. Check into the testing. Testing clear back in 2014 has all been positive. Beale City's been mandated. Wademan, Michigan's been mandated. Coeur Lake to this date has not been mandated. There's been no declaration of necessity. Now you take the burden of you and your patrolmen, take the burden that's on us out there. We've got a lot of things on our chest. And we don't have one person supporting us. From the county, from the state, nobody. Why is that? There's a lot of cover-up going on here. And there's a lot of people that work for the county's been given a free pass. And when are they going to be held accountable? When's that going to happen? That's what I'm. It needs to stop. If anybody wants to read it, here it is. You like to read it? Any of you guys like to read all this information we have? Chippewa Lake, which isn't too far from us, was deemed by DNR in 5 years. Their lake would be dead. Dead. Coeur Lake is thriving. Their township worked with their residents every step of the way. It was always a vote. And that's the way it should be. It should always be a vote. There's no circumstances in this country that people shouldn't vote on. And shame on you guys for not putting heat on that township out there. We know who represents that township. It's time to change your guys' ways, not one just aspect, but every aspect. Mount Pleasant isn't someplace special no more, where it used to be 30 years ago. Too many, oh, it's this guy's fault, or that guy's fault. That shit's gotta stop. Accountability and transparency on everybody's case. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for general public comment? Seeing no one else for general public comment, commissioners, any announcements? Okay, I'll just say that, you know, as we all know, we're in a tough spot financially. We can talk more in the coming weeks about how we got there. That's fine. But what we've heard loud and clear is that we need to communicate better. Everything that we're doing. And so, we will start doing that, start building that trust back with our partners in the community. So that's all I have. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support. Been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned 8:24.